In this video, we're going to talk about simulation and probability interpreted as a long-run relative frequency. Okay, simulation is an imitation of a chance process. Flipping a coin, rolling a die, rolling two dice, and we're going to run two simulations here. First, we're going to run one called rolling doubles. And the idea is you just roll a pair of dice until you get doubles. 1 and 1, 2 and 2, so on and so forth. We're not going to actually roll dice. We're going to simulate the rolling of dice by using the random integer function on the calculator. The way that we do that is we're going to hit math, probability, and number 5 is random integer, and we're going to enter 1, 6, 2 into the function. The 1 and 6 tell us the low number and the high number that we want to have, and the 2 is how many times we want it to generate it. So the function is going to generate two numbers between 1 and 6, which that's our simulation of rolling two dice. So let's do that. Okay. Let's clear things out here. Go to math, over to probability. Number 5 is random integer, and you enter 1, 6, 2. And let's do and 3, 1. So the first time I rolled the dice in my simulation, my simulated dice, I got a 3 and a 1. And the goal of the game is to roll until you get doubles. So we go 3, 6, 5, 4, 4, 6, 5, 5. It took me 5 rolls. If we go back, there's my first roll, second roll, third roll, fourth roll. It took 5 rolls to get a pair of doubles. So what we do is we come down in here in our trials, and in our trials we would record the number 5. So I'm going to record that one in number 24. That was our last trial. It took 5 times to get doubles. Now you can see I've already run the simulation 24 times. So in trial 2 it took 8 rolls, in trial 12 it took 21 rolls, in trial 15 it took 23 rolls in order to get doubles. Now using this data, or if you can create your own data, you can do that as well. You're going to create a histogram, and you're going to describe the shape, center, and spread. Of course, we've already done that. And then there are a few other questions for you to answer here as well. But we're going to go on and we're going to look at the next simulation. So we're going to flip a coin, and you can do it in your head. Okay, you can imagine flipping a coin and record. So you can do that for yourself, or you can use the ones that I have here. Okay, and I'll make a point about them later, but right now let's get to doing it with the technology. Now we're going to simulate flipping a coin. We're not actually going to flip a coin, but we're going to simulate it 24 times. And we're going to use random integer to do it. So I want you to take a second, pause the video, figure out how you would use random integer that we just used in order to simulate flipping a coin. Okay, if you're back, you've already described how you're going to use that. We would use random int 1, 2. And I could just do 1, 2 and just do each trial individually. But I'm going to do 4 at a time and record 4 at a time, so I'm going to put a 4 in there. And we also have to, if we're going to do this, because 1 and 2 don't mean anything when you're flipping a coin, we'd say 1, we have to tell it what the means. 1 means heads, and 2 means tails. Okay? So, after each flip, or in our case 4 flips, we're going to record the results, H or T, underneath here, under the trial number at the bottom of the graph. And then we're going to record the portion of heads as a running total. We'll do that as well. Okay, so I'm going to do a few of these, and then I'm going to pause the video and finish it, and then we'll come back so that you don't have to sit through 24 trials. Okay? So first of all, let's get our calculator back up, and we want to do math over to probability, number 5. And this time we want to do 1, 2. We're going to do 4 at a time. So we'll have to do this 6 times, but then we have, so 2, 1, 1, 2. So that's 2 is tails, 1, so tails, heads, heads, tails. That's what our simulator gave us. So let's come back here, and our first one was tails, heads, heads, tails. We just recorded those 4. Let's do another one quick. Let's hit enter, and we got 2, 1, 1, 1. So tails, heads, heads, heads. So tails, heads, heads, heads. And let's record a few of these and do our proportion. So it says record the proportion of heads as a running total. So number of heads divided by the number of flips. Well, I got 0 heads here and I flipped it 1 time. So 0 divided by 1 of course is 0. So I put a dot right at 0 here for my first flip. After my second flip, I've gotten heads once out of 2 flips. So that's 0.5, 50%, right? And then we play connect the dots. In 3, now I've got 2 heads out of 3 flips. So 2/3, 0.67, somewhere about there, 0.67. Okay. Just like that. Now tails, so now I still only have 2 heads, and now it's out of 4, so I go back, my fourth one, I go back to 50% there. And now tails again, so now I've got 2 out of 5, which is 0.4, so I'm going to go down to 0.4 for that one. And then I've got 3 out of 6, which goes back to 50%. Now 4 out of 6, which again is 2/3, go up to about there. And then, sorry, this is, let's fix that. It's not 4 out of 6, it's 4 out of 7. And out of 7, just to make sure that's correct, and then 5 out of 8. So 4 out of 7 is a little bit better than half, is 0.571. So I'm going to go up to about here. And then 5 out of 8 is 0.625, so that's going to go to about there. And now I'm going to pause and I'm going to complete the rest of this and have the graph, and we can talk about what the graph looks like.